All right. As you see, again, I don't really like the way they title these sections. It's kind of weird. It doesn't make sense really when you look at it. But so I put the little SSS on the end of it. All right. And what do you think that means? I've already heard it once. Side, side, side. Okay. So I probably actually I got to change this around. There we go. Watch. I'm just going to make some random triangle. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. I always make them acute. Let's make an obtuse triangle this time. Doesn't have to be obtuse. I just decided to make one like that. Ah. Come on. Grab that thing. There we go. All right. So what if I could make this as easy as possible? Here's what they give you. They give you two triangles, and they give you some information. They tell you that AB and DE are equal to each other. They tell you BC and EF are equal to each other. And they tell you that AC and DF are equal to each other. That right there. Now, look, I don't know anything about the angles, do I? Do I know that angle A is equal to D? Nope. B is equal to E? Nope. Angle C is equal to angle F? Nope. Don't know any of that. But I do know that all three sides of one triangle are equal to all three sides of the other triangle. That's enough to say that these triangles are what? Congruent. Very good. All right. So let's call it something different besides ABC. Let's call it BAC. How's that? All right. Now watch. If I called this triangle BAC, what am I going to call this triangle over here? EDF. Now you got to be careful. The way I wrote it down, the way I wrote those two triangles down right here, made it pretty easy to see that the B and the E go together, the A and the D and the C and the F. Would you agree? Because they're right next to each other, the same, you know, they're in the same spot basically. All right, but I could take this triangle and like twist it. I could flip it this way. I could flip it that way, right? I could make it look really weird, and sometimes it's kind of hard to see which angle goes with what angle, all right? So for instance, let's do this. I'm going to, let's group all that together. So let's twist it around. Let's twist it around like this. Let's flip it. So let's flip it horizontally. Boom. And let's flip it vertically. So my letters are going to look weird. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Now let's just do this. All right. So now, how do I know which one goes with what? Because now it's all flipped around. It's not sitting there like mirror, you know, right next to each other. Absolutely look at the lines, okay? So look at B and E. How do I know that angle B and angle E are the ones that match up with each other? Well, I look to see what side it's opposite. So angle B is opposite the side with how many tick marks? 3. So you look over here. Look for the side that's got 3 tick marks. Okay, so what angle is opposite? E. So that means that angle B equals what? Angle E. You see that? So that means the B and the E have to be in the same spot. You with me on that? What about angle A? I'll give that 2 marks. How do I know which one over here that angle A matches up with? Because sometimes they almost look identical and you can't really tell the difference. But it might be off just by a degree or two, and you can't really tell. So how do I look at it, Caleb? The problem. Yeah, I'm not looking at this, okay? I'm saying I don't know this. Okay, so I don't know that thing right there. So let's do that. Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if I called this, what did I say it was before? B what? BAC? Okay. So now watch. I already said that the B and the E match up. So if B is first, what's going to be first here? The E. Let's see which one the A is. The A is over here. Now, which one of these matches up with the A? It could be the D. It could be the F. It's kind of hard to tell because I flipped it around a little bit. But the way that you can tell is you can always see what's opposite that. What's opposite angle A? The 2 tick marks. So come over here. Which one has the 2 tick marks? This one. So what's opposite the 2 tick marks? The D. So the A and the what? The D go together. You see that? All right, so that means there's the A is second, and then the D has got to be here. Now, there's only one other choice. What else is left? Is the F. But let's just make sure it's right. Angle C is opposite the one with 1 tick mark. So you come over here, angle F is the angle that's opposite 1 tick mark. Because sometimes they're going to be confusing, right? They're not just going to be nice and perfect, sitting right next to each other, and you're like, oh yeah, those, I picked that one up, stick it right there, they're right on top of each other, they're the ones that go together. Sometimes you might flip them, you might twist them and all that, and it's hard to tell. So the way to tell is always to look what side or angle something is opposite, and that'll tell you which ones match up. Did that make sense to you or not? Okay. So that's that lesson. That's 4-5 right there. So I am going to teach you 4-6 today. Why is that? Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I was going to say, looks like we're having an earthquake. All right, so let's do section 4-6. It's really not that difficult. But this time, I don't know if you heard me, it was very subtle. But before I said that was the last of our non-right triangle congruence theorems. So if those were all non-right triangles, what do you think we're going to do now? We're going to do right triangles now, okay? So we have a whole section just on the right triangle congruence theorems. So let's call it that. Let's call it right triangle congruence. I'll just call it that, right triangle congruence, okay? These are actually really easy. If you understood the other stuff, if you understood angle, side, angle, side, angle, side, angle, angle, side, 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 if you understood all those things, then this shouldn't be much of a problem for you. I'm just going to use the same triangle over and over again just to make it easy. I'm going to group that together. I'm going to copy and paste it. And just put it right next. Oops. All right, so there we go. Now, watch what we're going to do. They're right triangles. So what's this angle have to be? A right angle. Right angle. Okay, they're right triangles, so that angle has to be a right angle. All right? What if they give you this information? Okay, they told you the right triangles to begin with, all right? But they tell you that this side and this side are equal, and they tell you that this side and this side are equal. Kale, do you have a question? No. Okay. All right. Are these triangles congruent to each other? Yeah. Yeah. Why would they be congruent to each other? Side, angle, side. So you could say side, angle, side, but since it's a right triangle, they kind of shorten it and they give you more of a specific type of congruence. All right. I don't know how helpful it is, to tell you the truth, but this is what they give you, is what we're going to learn. All right. So on a right triangle, you have 2 legs and you have a what? What's this side? No. What's this side called on a right triangle? It does start with an H. Hypotenuse. Very good. Okay, this is the hypotenuse. I'll write it out for you. Hypotenuse. All right. When I was in college, we got our school pictures taken, you know, regular school pictures. And the guy would always ask us in college, like, what's your major? And I would say, I'm a math major. He's like, okay. Instead of saying smile, he says, say hypotenuse. Every year, I went to the same guy, and he would say it every single time. So you say hypotenuse. Anyway, that's what I remember about hypotenuse. No, he was fine. I got fairly friendly with him because I was a photographer as well. So later on, I got to know him a little bit more. But I never did say anything about hypotenuse to him. All right, so let's take a look. We could say side, angle, side. We call these the legs, right, of the right triangle. All right, so these 2 sides right here are called the legs, and this is called the hypotenuse. Everybody with me on that? Now, they told you right up front that it was a right triangle. But what were the extra things that they told you about this? They told you that this leg was equal to this leg, and what else? This leg was equal to this leg. So what they're going to do, instead of using the angle that's in between, we're just going to call it leg. That's it. We're just going to call it leg, congruence theorem or something if you want to call it that. We're just going to call it leg, right? Just like you had angle, side, 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 all that stuff. We're just going to call it leg. How do you think we're going to write it, though? Just LL, right? We don't say LL, all right? We say, I'll put that in quotation marks. We say leg, all right? So again, you could have said side, angle, side, all right? That's fine. But this is a new one, and they just call it leg. So you're going to have a quiz at some point when we have a quiz on this stuff, and one of the things is going to say which triangles are congruent. Give me the congruent statement, right? Like triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. And then tell me why it is. So when you have a right triangle, the why, or the reason, right, that they're congruent to each other is just because of leg, right? And I'll list them out for you on the quiz. You don't have to like remember them all. Okay, you just have to know which one's which. Everybody with me on that? All right, so let's copy that. So leg, we got 4 of these to do. All right, so once you understand the first one, the rest are pretty easy. I could have made different looking right triangles, but this is fine. It's a right triangle, that's a right triangle. Okay, here's something else they tell you. They give you this side is equal to this side, and they tell you one of the angles. Well, one of the other angles. They already told you right angles, but they tell you one of the other angles. So what if you had some information for this? Now this is one of those, I'm laughing a little bit because remember we said there was one that didn't work, and we said if you wrote it a certain way, it's a word we're not supposed to say, right? So there's no angle what? Angle, side, okay? But in, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. There is no angle, side. So this is not angle, side. This could be looked at as what? Angle, side. But since it's a right triangle, we're not going to throw that other angle in there, okay? We're just going to say what? What is this side right here? Is that a leg? No. What is it? Right. So we're going to go hypotenuse, and then what else do they tell you? They tell you another angle, don't they? All right, so they're going to go hypotenuse angle. So if you see a situation like this, this is hypotenuse angle. All right? Do you see how it's kind of the same as what we've done before? It's just with right triangles. That's all it is. It's not much different, to tell you the truth. Everybody good with that? All right, so let me just copy and paste this. We got 2 more to do. So this is pretty easy. But will it stay this easy? It might. All right, here's another one. Let's see. Okay, they tell you this angle up here is equal to this angle right here, and they tell you this side is equal to this side right here. Okay? Now, the old way, you could have said they're congruent because of what reason? It's not side. I don't know that this side is equal to this. It's angle, side, angle, right? That's angle, side, angle. But since it's a right triangle, we're not going to do 3. We're just going to do 2. So what did they tell you? They told you one of those. Is that hypotenuse or is that leg? That's a leg. And they told you another angle. All right? So this is just leg angle. All right? So they call that leg angle. Actually, we're only doing 3 of these. Yep. What they do, though, the reason I thought it was 4 is because of this little bit right here. They could have also told you that this angle down here in the corner is equal to this angle down here in the corner. Okay? This is still leg angle, isn't it? They still give you one leg and they still give you one angle of a right triangle. Okay? But back in the old days, like 2 days ago, all right, what reason could we have used to say that these triangles were congruent to each other? angle, angle, side. Angle, angle, side, okay? Like 2 or 3 days ago, whenever we did that, I forget when, but we could have said angle, angle, side. Agreed? But now that we know it's a right triangle, we could just call it leg angle. There's really not a whole lot to this, all right? It's just another way, except we're just using right triangles now instead of just regular triangles, all right? So you don't have to worry about the right angles. You don't have to use that in our congruence statement, all right, or in our reasoning for our congruence. And that's it. We just did 2 lessons in less than 1 class period. Usually it takes us 1 class period to do 2 lessons, or no, the other way around. 2 class periods to do 1 lesson. But anyway, so I'm only going to give you 4 or 5 homework though. All right, I'll let you do 4 or 6. It's really not that much. I should give you both of them. Do you want both of them? Yeah. I didn't think you did.
If we do both of them,
I'll just give you the one. No, that's incorrect. All right, so here's your homework. Okay, I'll give you. This is section. What? It's not 4 or 5. Oh yeah, it is. Because the last one we did was 4 or 6. Okay, so we're just doing 4 or 5 over the weekend. It's only 6 problems. You got 5 minutes left. Who knows? You might be able to finish all 6 problems in the next 5 minutes. All right, see who can. All right, so give it a shot. You got 5 minutes, so you might as well. I think you have 5 minutes. How do I never remember this one? Yeah, it is 5 minutes. 10 till. Okay, that's it.